Hey guys, what's up? It's Karen here back again with another video, and today we're doing another oj2 character discussion, and today we're going to be talking about the Ryu of this game, Base Deku. So without further ado, let's get into it. So what do I mean by the Ryu of this game? So typically when we talk about Ryu, we talk about Shoto or Shotokan. Shotokan is the karate that Ryu, Ken, and Akuma practice. And not Gen, fuck, I forgot his name, but the old master who teaches Ryu, those people all practice that type of karate, Shotokan. And it was essentially used for assassination, but the teacher who taught Ryu taught him a less deadly version of it. While Akuma uses like the Satsui no Hado, which is basically just advanced instant hell death murder. So yeah, enough story time anyway, but yeah, that's just the history of what Shotokan or the Shotokan karate means in Street Fighter lore. But what a Shoto is fighting game wise is someone who can basically do everything, is a jack of all trades but master of none. And when I think of that, I think of like two characters. It's Base Deku and Bakugo, but I'm not talking about Bakugo today. He's in another video. Today we're talking about Base Deku. So when I say he has everything, he basically does have everything. He has a Hadoken. He has a Denjin Hadoken. He has a charge. And hell, he even has a Tatsu. Look, he even has a Tatsumaki. Tatsumaki means tornado in Japanese. I believe that's what that means in Japanese, Tatsumaki. But yeah, he basically has everything you need to make a good character. He has a decently good projectile. His charge projectile is actually pretty good. Both of these do pretty good damage. 5k, it's an insane, normally 25, pretty good. His Tatsu, he can whiff cancel. So that's pretty nice. He's really good at teaching you how to play the game because he's not good at everything. One thing that he's pretty good at is that the fact that he just does just a shit ton of damage. That was for one dash cancel. That is above the average. And if I just like throw you, I'm getting 12k. So yeah, you already know that he does a lot of damage, which helps the player understand how combos work and get rewarded for actually hitting them, instead of just doing shit like this into this, because you're not using his full potential. But trust me, as soon as you hit something like this, you want to hit it every time in every single fucking match because it does so much damage. But even then, that's not even optimized. The thing about Base Deku is that he might be simple, but there are lots of things you can optimize. For example, this isn't optimal, but it's just the thing that you can do with Base Deku, and it's really fun in my opinion. Base Deku basically has every type of combo you would need. A normal combo that wall splats pretty easily. Let me show you. I just showed it off, but yeah, let me show you here. Pretty easy wall splat combos. He has air dash combos right here. Hell, he even has his air jab is even jump cancelable. If I could pull it off, hold on. Like that. He can even do that. I don't really see it used a lot, but yeah, you can do that. It's really fun. Base Deku is a jack of all trades, master of none, but his traits that he's not a master at, he's still really good at. So he's not a master at anything, he's just really good, which makes him pretty good, and he is debatably the best Deku. I mean, I feel some people say shoot style is the best, but I think base is the best, considering he's way more versatile. Shoot style is way more like rushdown oriented, while base can play a lot more in any sort of direction, like you can play defensively, zoning with your projectile, or you can play offensively, just doing a shit ton of damage. So yeah. Also, one other thing that he has is that he has a super, right? But his super is probably the best way to teach anyone how to use a super in the game. Let me show you. It is essentially, normally, a basic damage super, right? Right? You fire it off, and it does a shit ton of damage, right? But here's a special trait with it. You can do it in the air. And there's another trait to it that you guys probably know, is that it puts him in this little install state, and it'll show you how to do installs. It's basically baby's first install, and it does a lot of damage, and you get rewarded for it. But there's a drawback. You kind of get stunned at the very end to not make it too overpowered, and your opponent gets a free state. He goes really fast when this happens, so you can't really camp him like you can camp Tetsu install. But yeah, he has basically everything you would need. His plus ultra 2 is pretty nice, so if you ever hit that, you could just go ahead and just beat the shit out of people with that. It's really fun because base Deku is a Deku. He's one of the most popular characters in the game just by the thing of him being a Deku. And I think that's really nice that Viking made him such an all-rounder. Now, all the Dekus are essentially all-rounders, kinda, except for 100%, who just sucks. But, yeah, basically all the Dekus are all-rounders. But base Deku is the best all-rounder considering he just does everything. He even has air projectiles. He even has flip projectiles that you can kind of, like, mess around with. But essentially what I'm trying to say is that base Deku is really, the intro part of this is that base Deku is such a really well-designed character. You could kind of tweak him a little bit to make him not as strong, but I think genuinely base Deku is a really good designed character. Just a really good way to show off how to play the game. Um, yeah. Now then, why do I think that base Deku is the best character to learn besides, like, anybody else? So let's take another popular character, Bakugo. So, Bakugo is another all-rounder. I'd say that you could learn the game with him too and do pretty well. Or Todoroki, which is a completely different thing that I think is pretty detrimental to a player's playstyle if you start playing with him specifically. But let's talk about Bakugo, then I'll get into Todoroki. So Bakugo, he is an all-rounder, but I feel like he's a bit harder to understand than base Deku. Now, the reason I say this is that his options kind of feel weird. And what I mean that is that his combo options kind of feel like more precise that you'd have to use them instead of base Deku, who's a lot simpler with combos that kind of just look like they should work with each other, you know? But some of Bakugo's moves kind of just don't look like they work with each other. His moves move him in weird directions, like his air jab moves him backwards, so you might not be able to air dash and jab like you'd want to with normal characters. Like, hell, even sometimes I try to do shit like this with Bakugo, and I move backwards and I can't get the punish. But yeah, Bakugo just has this momentum-based archetype combined with his Shoto kind of playstyle that it makes him a bit more complicated. Now, at higher levels, you see him more than base Deku, mostly because he feels more consistent than base Deku in certain aspects. Especially in the zoning department where his projectiles are undoubtedly better than base Deku's. But, yeah, that's basically why I think Bakugo shouldn't be used to learn the game. You can obviously use him to learn the game. Play whoever you want to learn the game. But I think the best one should be base Deku. Now let's talk about Todoroki, which is possibly the worst option in the entire game. Now, with Todoroki, I feel like he's had a really detrimental impact on low-level play because of how popular he is there. Now let me explain why. Todoroki, at low level, is kind of just baseline, just kind of dissolved into I gotta play like I'm a super defensive zoner. Because Todoroki doesn't have the greatest offensive options compared to Bakugo or Deku. But yeah, Todoroki really just doesn't have that oomph or that like power up close to really show off what the game really has to offer. Now, granted, he has, if you really want to learn the game defensively, he might be a good character. But I can tell 99% of people want to do all that cool flashy stuff. But when they see Todoroki's do stuff like this, it really just doesn't help the fact that this game is just kind of not the best when it comes to offense. You slide around and kind of just like stay away from your opponent, and that's not fun for most people. You kind of freeze them and then just kind of be campy and defensive, which isn't fun at low levels. It might be how you play him at higher levels, but when it comes down to it, lower levels have to just kind of they have to kind of be leaned into the more fun aspects of a game before they dive bomb straight into haha camping, you're gonna die, you can't touch me, and then they quit the game, which is bad. Or they just pick up Todoroki playing like that, and then it grows, and then it makes other people quit the game, or it tries to make people, like, you either quit the game, or you try to get better, and not a lot of people want to get better. They just want to leave and play something else. They go back to Demon Slayer, they go play Ninja Storm, they go play anything else, right? Because they don't really have the time to deal with this. When it comes to entertainment, you don't want to have to work for your entertainment, right? With Todoroki, fighting Todoroki, in some aspects, you have to work for it. And that's why you kind of have to, kind of kind of check yourself. That's why most people, when they play oj2, they play it offline, because, shit like that. But yeah, Todoroki isn't the best just because he's more of a defensive type of character. While Base Deku and Bakugo can both play defensive, they are really good offensively as well, with their options leading towards a lot of damage up close, and their projectiles leaning towards basically just like basic things like space coverage and shit, while Todoroki has these giant space covering moves and shit that blocks projectiles and this burning shit. So it kind of gets overwhelming to look at. It might look cool, but sometimes it just isn't fun to do for some people, and that's why, player bases dwindle and shit like that, because they don't want to have to deal with that shit. So yeah, basically what I'm saying is that Base Deku, pretty good to learn the game with. Bakugo, pretty good to learn the game with. I'd say go with Base Deku, but Bakugo's still pretty good. Todoroki, absolutely not. I'd say if you want to learn how to play a defensive character, just play Base Deku kind of defensively, or play Bakugo kind of defensively. Todoroki isn't really it, and I know he's a popular character, but if you really want to learn the game in all of its aspects, I'd say play Base Deku, because he has basically everything you need to make a really good character. Plus, he's really fucking good. So yeah, I hope you guys liked this video. Sorry I felt like kind of rushed. I really have a lot to say on this topic, and I might make a part 2 eventually. But yeah, I hope you guys liked the video. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. If you want a part 2, comment that you want a part 2, and I will see you guys later. Bye.